Hi singers and music fans, and welcome to this reaction and analysis of The 30th. Now I picked this song because a few weeks ago a student brought it to me. She did an absolutely beautiful job of it, and when I was listening to it I just thought, well, there's so much to delve into here. I've just done 2 videos on big soul divas, Whitney and Beyonce. You can check those out. So I thought I would just go take a turn in a different direction and look at something that is soft and intimate, aspirate. I actually want to really highlight that there is a skill, there is a huge skill to doing this just as much as there is big belty stuff. So Billie Eilish is the perfect singer to help me demonstrate that. So really looking forward to hearing the song all the way through from Billie. Yeah, it's a gorgeous song. Let's take a listen. Nice to hear a real instrument in pop music nowadays, isn't it?
Sometimes you look the same, just like you did before the accident. When you're staring into space, it's hard to believe you don't remember it. Woke up in the ambulance, you pieced it all together on the drive.
Okay, so first of all, what a unique blend of sounds she uses. She records very close to the microphone, so you get softness, intimacy, almost like someone is sharing a secret with you, something that is deeply emotional to them with only you. That's kind of what I'm hearing in this song and in her music in general. With that, she pairs this sort of under enunciation. She's almost reluctant to share with you because it's so deeply personal. But the other thing that does is because she uses this very soft and breathy sound, by not opening the mouth too much, it's almost like adding a slight filter to keep some of that air back. Because what I want to explain to you is that the reason why her singing is so difficult is because she's using breathiness all the time. Now, the way that the breathing system works is it's a little bit like a balloon. If you imagine the lungs are a nice full balloon full of air, and that balloon is, when we take a breath in, nice and expanded. And then if you imagine the larynx and the vocal cords right at the top, it's like when you're holding a balloon before you've tied it off, right? So those vocal cords are closed. And when we make sound, it's those vocal cords coming together to resist the airflow through the larynx that makes that sound. Here's no sound, just air, vocal cords open. Vocal cords closed. And when we are singing with a lot of breathiness, it's imagined that basically that balloon is deflating really, really quickly. When we use a clean sound, we can actually hold that air in a lot longer. So it's a healthy and easy way to sing when we're using a clean sound. You can try this at home now. I want you to start by trying to hold a note for as long as you can with like an aspirate, breathy sound. Just go, put an H on the front of it. I can feel my lungs collapse immediately. You can pause the video and try yourself if you want. Now, try it with an E, which is a really closed vowel. E. You could just go on and on and on and on and on. So you can try that for yourselves and feel the difference. It's actually very difficult to support that kind of airflow when you're not holding it in with that closed sound. So to have the control that she has in her singing, going up to all these very high lines, the vocal cords have to be really close to and stretching thin to work up to those high notes. She supports it with control and just total beauty. Hopefully this is enlightening you on the skill that she's using and that it's actually really difficult and really tiring on the voice. And in this beautiful line, I just want to play it again.
You pieced it all together on the drive.
You can hear how her vocal cords are opening. If these are the vocal cords, they're going, you pieced it all together on the drive. Opening right at the end of the line. At the end of the line when we would already be running out of air. And it's just executed and committed all the way through to the end with such beauty and control. All right, let's carry on listening. I'm loving it. It's beautiful.
I know you don't remember calling me,
So pretty.
but I told you even then you look so pretty. In a
You
hospital
can hear
bed,
how big a
I
breath she's
remember
taking
you
each
said
time to
you were
prepare for this
scared.
very breathy, aspirate sound
And
she's
so
using.
was I.
Gorgeous.
And I stand still on the 5. Thought it was unusual, the early traffic. Usually I don't panic, I just wanted to be on time. When I saw the ambulances on the shoulder, I didn't even think of pulling over. I pieced it all together late that night.
So not only is the song building very gently, but also she's making it just a little easier on herself to sing through this song, because if you're breathy all the way through a song, like I said, it's like someone's holding a hairdryer underneath your vocal cords and drying them out, and you're leaking air all the time. It's really tiring. So yeah, a little bit more adduction, vocal cord adduction, verse 2 through to that pre-chorus line. So pretty.
And I know you don't remember calling me, but I told you even then you look so pretty. In a hospital bed, I remember you said you were scared, and so was I.
There's so many refreshing things that she's offering to the world of pop. Introversion, meaningful lyrics, depth to what she's saying, writing from her heart and soul and life experience, softness. This is the opposite to what a lot of pop is doing nowadays. Maybe this is why she's so huge, because people are looking for more to connect with. Another thing that she does in this second chorus that's really technically competent is flipping between a soft chest, which is quite hard to establish when you're really trying to establish your chest voice, and head voice. So we've got, I know you don't remember calling me, chest and head and chest and head and chest. So again, highlighting the skills. Singers will know how difficult it is to move between that bridge, chest and head, and we do a lot of work to smooth that transition out. I spoke a little bit about chest and head and mix on my last video about Beyonce singing totally different dynamic, amazing singer. Right? Here we've got purposefully allowing a gentle flip between the two. So this next section has another challenge again.
What if it happened to you on a different day, on a bridge where there wasn't a rail in the way, or a neighborhood street where the little kids play, or the Angeles crest in the snow or the rain? What if you weren't alone, there were kids in the car? What if you were remote, no one knows where you are? If you changed anything, would you not have survived? You're alive, you're alive, you're alive.
Gorgeous. So we've got this massive dynamic build up. So there's a really lovely dynamic contrast in the track. And I'm like me, I'm sure you were waiting to hear, where is she breathing? How do you do a section that long without, because you can't hear any breaths taken in that section. And then she comes into that, you're alive. I just love how she commits to controlling and sustaining these breathy lines. If you just sung all of that and then opened your vocal cords right at you probably just pass out. But every time she goes into breathiness, she's committing to hold it, not just let those lungs collapse. I would put a bet on that this was done in the studio line by line or 2 lines by 2 lines. You can't hear any breaths taken in it at all. There's also a really lovely build up with backing vocals as well. So let's take a quick look at how she does this live.
What if it happened to you on a different day, on a bridge where there wasn't a rail in the way, or a neighborhood street its plague. Oh, the
a breath.
Angeles crest in snow, oh, the rain. What if you weren't alone? There were kids in the car. What if you were remote? No one knows where you are. If you changed anything, would you not have survived? You're alive, you're alive, you're alive.
So there you go. She is taking breaths, but I tell you what, she goes quite a long way into that section before she takes a breath, and then she takes a breath. She takes her breaths in unusual places. She's taking her breaths to refuel rather than thinking about like the flow of phrases. She's just doing what works for her in the song and just feeling it and not letting that technical aspect get too much in the way of the dynamic build and the emotion. You can almost see her lungs deflating a little bit, and she's having to take those big kind of gaspy breaths to get through this section. Sometimes when we are singing a very emotional song, if a breath sounds gaspy, like a gasp for air, a gasp for life, then that just adds into the emotion. Gorgeous song. Let's just listen to the final few bars.
And I know you don't remember calling me.
Back to super, super soft. Barely even singing.
I told you even then you
It's like whispering on a melody.
In your hospital bed,
Huge breaths.
I remember you said you were scared.
Lovely jazzy vibrato she uses as well.
And so am I.
Really feeling that. There's a beautiful, there's a little tiny bit in this last line. I remember you were scared.
I remember you said.
You said, on those words, you said there's almost like an extra little bit of raspiness that comes through, an imperfection on her voice. It's those imperfections that I live for in singing, because we're human. And in this world of AI, we want to hear that humanity coming through in voices. So what can we learn from Billie? That it's really hard work actually to sing with vocal cords open and aspirate and breathy as much as she does. If you're going to be doing that, it's really important to do lots of vocal cord adduction exercises such as sirens. And use lots of nice closed E vowels. E, even gee, 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 gee. Lots of scales using those closed sounds. I've learned that when we are moving between chest and head voice, it creates a really beautiful emotional intensity. So if you are working on your chest voice, your head voice, and your mix, and smoothing through those, remember to also work on how you can feature slightly flipping or even strongly flipping, which you would get in folk and country, rock, emotional songs. If you are working on joining all of your range smoothly, it's just going to give you the control to do what you want. And we've just learned that this sweet, soft vocal imperfections and a completely different way of singing can draw an audience in and move them just as much as it does when you've got someone really outpouring on a belty song. They both can exist with an impactful way together in the music world, and I am glad that they do. So thank you for spending this little bit of chill time with me and Billie and her gorgeous song. Hope to see you on the next. Bye.